I'm not ashamed to own my Lord, nor to defend his cause. Maintain the honors of his word, the glory of his cross.
Hello, I'm James Brown, and on behalf of the East End Church of Christ located in Toronto, Canada, I'd like to welcome you to Monday's edition of Walking Through the Bible, a podcast where we seek to study the Bible and the Bible alone. Please stick around afterwards for information on how you can contact us. But for now, if you have a Bible with you, please go to the book of Genesis, and we'll turn you over to Jeremy Dieselkamp for our study of the day.
Thank you, James, and welcome to all of our viewers. This is the 30th lesson in our study of Genesis. Yesterday, we covered Genesis chapter 6, verses 14 to 18, talking about how God commands Noah to build an ark. If you missed that episode and would like to watch it, you can find it and all of our other podcasts on our website at www.eastendchurch.org. You can also find them on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/EastEndChurchOfChrist under the Walking Through the Bible Genesis playlist. Today we're going to begin with Genesis 6:19 and read through verse 22. The text that you'll see on the screen is from the English Standard Version, but you're welcome to follow along with any version that you have. So let's now read Genesis chapter 6, beginning at verse 19. And of every living thing of all flesh you shall bring 2 of every sort into the ark to keep them alive with you. They shall be male and female. Of the birds according to their kinds, and of the animals according to their kinds, of every creeping thing of the ground according to its kind. 2 of every sort shall come into you to keep them alive. Also take with you every sort of food that is eaten and store it up. It shall serve as food for you and for them. Noah did this. He did all that God commanded him. Noah had just received instructions on how to build the ark so that he and his family would be saved from the flood that God was going to bring to destroy the inhabitants of this earth. God was very specific on how the ark was to be built. It had a specific length, height, and depth. It was to have 3 decks inside along with rooms. It was to be pitched from within and without in order for it to be waterproof. It was to have a door on the side, and a window was to be placed in the roof to a certain height, which would most likely span the length of the ark. Since God was specific in his directions, Noah would need to obey God's commands as revealed to him if he was to be saved. And that brings us now to what we read today. It was not only going to be Noah and his family that would come into the ark. He was going to bring every type of animal as well. He was told, for obvious reasons, that he was to bring them in pairs, 1 male and 1 female. This meant that God would not have to create new animals after the flood like he created them in Genesis 1. Whatever was on the ark would be saved. Now, of course, this presents a problem for the scoffer. They look out into this world and see many different types of species, dogs, bears, cats, and lions, and say, how could Noah fit all of those animals on the ark? First of all, we must note that nowhere in this passage does it say that all of the animals were adults. Smaller animals would obviously take up less room. Second, though, Noah was to take every animal according to their kinds. We discussed this a little in our study of Genesis 1, but according to their kinds does not mean every variation of every animal. Animals adapt according to their habitat and their breeding patterns. Therefore, it is not necessary to have every species of every animal on the ark, for the genetic makeup of each animal would be preserved. Some scholars estimate that there would be about 75,000 animals in the ark, and assuming that the average size of an animal is a sheep, it would only take up about half the available space in the ark. The rest of the space would be left for food. The next question is, were there dinosaurs on the ark? Assuming they were not extinct yet, and there's no reason that the Bible believer has to say that they were, yes, they were on the ark. But as was said on Saturday, there were rooms in the ark to separate the animals, and of course, God could prevent any animal from killing another any time along the way. How did Noah get the animals into one place? The answer is he didn't. The animals came to him. We know today that animals have an instinct that some natural disaster is on the way and flee long before we know about it. So it is obvious that God placed in them this instinct here and guided them to Noah. The problem people have with this story is they don't allow God to be God. They expect him to act like us, and God does not. Nothing is impossible with God, even though it may be impossible with us. The chapter ends by telling us that Noah did all that God commanded him, which is why Noah was described to us as a man of faith. With that, our time is up for today. Please join us, the Lord willing, tomorrow when we will continue our study of Genesis, beginning with Genesis 7, verse 1.
Thank you, Jeremy. And to our viewers, we also thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button below. Should you have any questions or comments, please leave a comment below or email us at answerintheword@gmail.com. We'll try to respond to you as quickly as we can. We hope you'll join us, the Lord willing, tomorrow when we'll be continuing our study of the book of Genesis. Goodbye for now and have a great day.
I'm not